Hola people, welcome to C2 Crochet. I'm Carlos and today we're going to work on this fall heart. It is a corner to corner project and you're going to learn here how to do corner to corner crochet, how to change colors, how to do a border, and I decided to use these colors because it's fall and I didn't want to do just the red heart. So I'm going to use cream for the background and then this orange for the heart. Feel free to use any color that you want. We're going to use a 5mm hook or H, also some stitch marker, scissors, and your yarn needle. To make this graph, you can go to my website and get the graph and written pattern right there. Now, as I said, you're going to learn here a few techniques on corner to corner, but also if you want to learn just how to do corner to corner first, I'm linking right here the video for that. Lastly, I want to also show you that I did a previous one to when I was learning corner to corner, and let me show you what that looks like. I've definitely come a long way since the first time that I tried corner to corner, so I keep practicing. It is, as you can see, by then I didn't have such a clean work. They look very different because they were different techniques, but also look at all of the ends and all of the color changes. It doesn't look very neat as this one. So that's why I want to show you this way of changing colors and working your C2C so you have the most beautiful one. If it is easier for you or more comfortable, you can go to my website and see a written pattern or go to my Etsy shop and get there the ad-free printable pattern. If you also want to learn more C2C projects, I will be uploading in the coming weeks more of my projects. For example, this one, it's already done. You can go and get it in this link right here. Simple and beautiful star. And it's a bigger one, so you want to start on a little one just to get your technique going, right? Now this looks awesome as well. Maybe that's how it will work. Okay, let's start working on this fall heart, shall we? Let's start row 1. We do a slipped knot. I will learn to say that, slipped knot. So then put your hook through. Grab your yarn and you're going to chain 5 as I'm doing right now. After you're done, you're going to count from the end of that chain 3 chains up and you're going to start working there. We're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, go through a chain, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and go through all of the loops. Let's do another one, and we're working on our first row. Half double crochet done, and then the third one. So yarn over, go through a chain, draw up a loop, you have 3, and then go through those 3. We finish it. That's our first square, and that was row 1. So now let's do row 2. Since we are in a border, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3. I want to grab it right there, and then 4 and 5. That helps me to remember where am I going to work on. So yarn over, go through that one, which is your third from the end, and then half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Now the second one, right here, half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then go through all of them. Your last one is right there. 1, 2, 3. I like to count, it helps me. And then go through all of them. Turn your work. Let me do that again. So turn your work and then go through that space of the chain 2 space. Slip stitch. Now they are together. Now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. We're going to make the other square, so we're going to make 3 half double crochet. Go through all of the loops to make 1 half double crochet, and we're working inside of that chain 2 space. So another half double crochet and a third half double crochet. We finish row 2. I love working on C2C projects. It is really a meditation kind of work. So now, since we're in a border, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3. I grab it right there, and then 1 and 2. That helps you to not have to be counting so much. So I'm gonna go a little bit faster, since by now you might have it. If not, feel free to pause this video and work a little bit slower if you need to. And then half double crochet, turn your work. What we're looking for is to match that chain 2 space to where we are, so we can slip stitch. Slip stitch right there, and now chain 2 because we are inside the work. Yarn over, go through 1, 2, 3, and then half double crochet. Let me pull up some yarn, half double crochet, 1, 2. I like to put that down to help me be more comfortable. 1, 2, 3, and then I bring it back. Now the last one, again in that space, chain 2 space, chain 2. That's like the formula. We chain 2 in the middle, we chain 5 to increase. So we're going to do here 3 half double crochet as usual. 1, 2, and then the third one. Let me show you how it's looking. Something that is going to be also very important for later is to know where the front of the work is. And in this section, this is my front. To increase again. And I just worked down these 3 chains. So I'm going to put this stitch marker right here exactly to help me remember. Now we're going to work row 4, and we chain 5 because we are increasing, and we do our usual 3 half double crochet. Remember, I'm also including timestamps for you to find your place easily on this work. Now we're going to turn our work and then slip stitch. Chain 2, and then we're going to, well, pull up some yarn because yarn is acting out. Pull that down so it's easier for you if that helps you. And now half double crochet. If it is easier for you or more comfortable, you can go to my website and see a written pattern, or go to my Etsy shop and get there the ad-free printable pattern. And it is, as I was saying, meditative. I like to count while I'm doing so. Slip stitch, and I chain 1 and 2, and I do 3 half double crochet. Go to 2, that's 1, 2, and breathe, and pull up some yarn, and our third one, and breathe. If you ever get lost, you can always count 1, 2, and 3, plus our chain 2. I keep putting it like this, but remember that this is the way that we're working, and this is the back of our work because we don't see our stitch marker. Now let's do row 5. Row 5 is also a simple one because we just have to do 5 more white squares, or the color that you chose for your background. 1, 2, 3, grab it right there, and then 2 more to complete our 5 chain because we are increasing. And now we're going to do 3 half double crochet. Another one, and then 1 more half double crochet. And then we turn our work. And now we go through a space and slip stitch. It's really very repetitive, but you will find that once you start to create more, you'll start to see the image coming alive, and that's always exciting to see how the end product is going to look. Now go through a space, slip stitch, 1 and 2 chains because we are right there in the middle, and we go 1, 2, and 3. And for our last one, we bring it back, go through that space. Oops, I went through a wrong one. We want to go through the whole space. So chain 2, and now you work your mandatory 3 half double crochet. Because we're using that technique, I like to call this technique half double crochet 5-2. And if you want to learn more about the different C2C techniques, you can go to the video that I'm putting right here. Now we're going to work on row 6, and we're going to be introducing our new color. So 1 white, 4 orange, and 1 white. That will be our squares. I have a little disclaimer here. When I was doing this part, I chose a different way of changing colors, and I want to show you the right one so you get the cleanest work right away. So I'll let you know once we're there. Now we're going to change colors, and this is always exciting for me. This is the back of the work, right? We know because we don't have the stitch marker on this side. We will normally go like this and slip stitch. But now we're going to take this kind of old color to the back of our work and introduce our new color, the orange. You're going to grab it like this, it helps. And then we're going to slip stitch with this new color. So go in, grab your yarn, and it's going to be a little loose at the beginning, but don't worry, you can fix that. Oops, let me get it back. Awesome, there it is. Go through that space, slip stitch. Don't worry about it being loose, you will fix this. And you can throw this little loop to the back. It's not a loop, but a thread. You know, English is hard. I'm learning. And now chain 2, as you always do. And now we're ready to work on our color. You can fasten up this. And we're going to carry that color because we're going to keep using it later. You work your color as you will normally do in the other one by carrying your white inside, as you can see right here. Now, because we're going to be working a color over another color, there's going to be a special way. Look how I kept going the same way as I will normally would, but that leaves a little dot in the front that is not the best looking once you have too many. This again, this occurs because we have the orange going on top of the white color. I hope this makes sense, and if not, I will create a post and put it on the comments or in the description box, but I just want to show you the right way so you don't have to make the same mistake I did. So the right way to continue this color and to have the cleanest work possible is to grab your yarn, right? Imagine that we're working with that same color we were working. Grab your yarn, pull it to the back of your work, and now you're going to slip stitch backwards. Look at here, right? So we go through the front, we grab our loop. It's a little bit awkward at first, but once you learn, it is so much easier. And that will hide that other color, having the best looking projects in the front. Just chain 2 and continue working as usual. I will have many more examples of this as we continue working on this project. So don't worry, I got you. Look at that. It gives you a very, very clean corner. So let's do it again, just to make sure that we got it. We are right there. We just finished our third double crochet, half double crochet, and we're going to slip stitch backwards, grab that yarn, go through and slip stitch. Oops, it's acting out. There we go. And now yarn over and do 2 chains. Awesome. And just work your half double crochet as you would normally. It is also important to carry out that white yarn with you so you can use it later. Now let's get back to our row 6 where we were. In this row 6, remember that you were doing 1 white, 4 orange, and 1 white. So remember to do this technique for all of the oranges that are in this row. Oranges, all of the orange blocks that are right here. Now that we're back, let me show you how to go back to that white. So as you can see, I've carried out my white all up until this moment, right? You can see it right there kind of sneaking in. And this is the back of our work, so it's okay that it looks a little bit like that. Now put your yarn to the back, right, the orange in this case, and bring your new color. You're gonna bring it to the front, but look at what I'm doing right now. Gonna put it right there, and I'm gonna slip stitch as usual because I'm in the back of our work. Fasten it up a little bit, pull it tight. Now chain 2. Now we're just gonna work as usual, our half double crochet. So remember to chain colors from the back, and I will have, of course, a video for this alone, or you can go back to the place where I change colors, or go to the post that I'm putting on the description in the description box. To change color from the back, you just slip stitch as usual. And look at that. Right here, I want to show you that this is why I didn't want you to do the change of color the way I did it, because of that little dot. As I kept working on it, I kept seeing it, and it was driving me crazy. Now next row. Because we're increasing, we're chaining how many? 5. Awesome. If you make a mistake, it's not really the end of the world. As you can see, I did that first heart to learn, and I appreciate it. It has meaning for me because that's where I started. You are turning your work right there and slip stitching right there. But now we are in the front of our work and we're about to change color. So it's a little bit different now. Put it to the back of the work, right? Which is now the opposite side because this is the front of our work. And now pull up your yarn. I like to bring it in that corner that I'm showing you. Look, that corner, it helps me. Now grab it there, and it's a little bit tricky to get the right amount of tension, but you'll get used to it. Now we're going to slip stitch backwards again because we are in the front. We're bringing it from the front, right? So remember, slip stitch backwards. You can right here pull it snuggle. And now chain 2 with your new color. Believe me, you're gonna get used to it. It takes a little bit of time. That's why I chose only 2 colors to change. Now half double crochet. That's why I like these beginner projects, because it looks really beautiful, really minimalistic, which I love. And also, you don't have to be changing so many colors, and it helps you to practice. It helps me to improve so much. Now, as you can see here, I forgot to carry my white, and that's not the end of the world, but I just want to show you that we can always go back. Just go back to that chain 2, and now you can carry your white. You can carry your white by grabbing it right there. Again, you will get used to it. You can also pull it later. Just don't pull it so tight, because the work can get a little bit not so square. As you could see, I'm still working on my tension right here. And then another half double crochet. And you just carry your white. And this is good, so you don't have to have your back so with loops that are, dancing around, but you're carrying it, the 2 colors that you're using, and it's gonna be so much easier for you at the end of the work. Chain 2, and now carry. That's what I like to do. You slip stitch, chain 2, and now it's when you bring up that loop to carry it. 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch. Look at how, when I was recording, I was a little bothered by those little white seam that you can see there. 1 and 2, and now you bring it. Awesome. Anyway, I will also show you how you can hide those at the end of the work if you feel like it. I felt like doing one of those at least. Okay, I'm finishing my other square. And now I'm going to slip stitch. Let me just check that I'm right. Yes. So continue working with my orange. I'm gonna slip stitch as usual, as I was working before. Then chain 2. And I'm going to bring now my white to keep carrying it. So yarn over, pull up a loop, go through 3 of them. There's a half double crochet, just a little bit of review, but by now we've repeated so much that we can do it in our sleeps. In our sleep. Okay, now our last orange. So slip stitch, chain 2, and now carry your white. Awesome. I hope that you are liking this, and definitely if there's anything that I can do different to best help you, just let me know in the comments. Or if there is a shape or a drawing that you like me to try, that's also fun for me to know. I'm very helpful. Okay, let's count. So let's see that it's all working great. Yes, we're gonna change colors again. So put that to the back, and I like to grab it with my index finger. And now bring your white. Since we're in the front of the work, we're going to slip stitch backwards to change that color. So go like this, grab your yarn and slip stitch. Pull up that loop to get it snuggle. And now chain 2 and just repeat your pattern to make a square. Half double crochet number 1, half double crochet number 2, a half double crochet number 3. Awesome. And we finished that row. Now we're going for row 7, and in row 7 we're going to start again with our white color. So let's chain 5, I like to grab it right there to remind me that that's where I'm working on. 1, 2, 3, you can count if you don't have it. And now go through that loop. Now let's do our half double crochet as usual. And our third half double crochet. And then we turn our work. We're going to slip stitch right there. And now we're going to chain 2. Let's continue working with that white. As you can see in the graph that I'm putting right here, this is where we are right now. This is how we're working. So I hope that that's helpful, but if not, you can always go and download this one yourself and look at the pattern in my website, in the link in the description box. We're in the back of the work. So now we take that to the back, we put that through that corner. Those corners really help me. Put that to that corner, and now with slip stitch, and now we're going to chain 2, and let me pull that snuggle. Okay, now we're gonna carry our white. That's one of the steps that I usually forget, carrying the yarn, but I think I'm getting a little bit better at it with more practice, hopefully. It does really make the difference. One, two, and 3. There we go. Let me pull that snuggle. Yeah, so you cannot see that. Awesome. Awesome. And now as usual, just slip stitch, chain 2, carry your yarn, and then kind of trap it inside that half double crochet. That's how it happens. You kind of secure it there. And carry once more. This is our last one before we change colors again. So this is another opportunity for us to practice changing color. I like to pull that snuggle, but don't do it that much. We just want it a little bit. I think that's the part that I'm working on. So now that goes to the back, and this one comes to kind of the corner, and we're going to slip stitch from the front. So you slip stitch as usual. Bring your yarn and slip stitch, and that is all. It is really simple once you get the traction or the movement, or I don't know what the word that I want to use, but once you get the procedure of doing the color change, it's really just nature. Now let's do row 9, and row 9 will be 2 white, 5 orange and 2 white. So let's increase, and you know that to increase in this technique we are doing a chain 5, right? So now we do 3 half double crochet. Awesome. I love to see how this project comes together and starts shaping into the heart. Turn your work, slip stitch. I also love when we don't have to change colors because you can just keep working through it, and either you are working something in your mind or you are just relaxing. Either way, you get answers and imagine things or just silence. I don't know, there's a lot that happens while crocheting. Tell me in the comments, what do you think while you crochet? Meanwhile, we're going to change color. So, because we're on the front of the work, take that to the back and bring your new color through that corner. Now you're going to slip stitch backwards, so go through the back and bring it right there. Oops, right there. Bring it in and that pull that snuggle. You can grab it with your index. And then chain 2, 1 and 2. And now carry your yarn. I kind of wish there was somebody there in the room that it's telling me carry your yarn to always remember. 2 and 3. Half double crochet, carrying your yarn. Awesome. We just successfully changed color again. So let's just keep working and let's just keep remembering to carry our yarn. I'm not having a good row. I mean, it's not going, flawlessly, but that happens sometimes. That's okay. And then we just keep working. Awesome. Discovering corner to corner was just a beautiful thing in crochet. I love crochet, but when I learned corner to corner, I don't know, something even, it was even more exciting. Okay, let's pull up some yarn. I like to count again, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It just helped me keeping track. 1 and 2 to continue our last orange block. And just so you know, I use my iPad to see the squares, but you can print the graphic or you can use your computer or your tablet, anything that helps you keep on track of where you are in the graphic or in the written pattern. So that was the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just check that. Okay. So now let's change color. All color to the back, new color to the front, through that corner. That helps me to remember. Slip stitch backwards, grab it, and then slip stitch. There you go. It really becomes something very simple once you get used to it. 1 and 2. And now we just work. And we don't need to carry our orange because we're going to use it right there once we come back on the other row. 2 and 3. Now we just find that space, slip stitch, chain 2, you know the formula, right? And now 3 half double crochet. I like to repeat it a little just because I feel that this is helpful for beginners, but just feel free to mute me if you want to. We just finished that row. That's our row 9. And we're going now to 10. Let's turn on some lights because the sun is going away. Now this is the last row before we start decreasing, which will be a little bit different. So let's do a increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. And then we just work our half double crochet. Remember that we're chaining 5 because we are increasing. From now on, since we are on our last square of our graph, we don't need to increase anymore. And you'll see why once we get there. So the last one in white, so we're going to change colors. We're in the back of our work, right? You can see by these loops right here. And now we're going to bring that loop. And we just slip stitch as usual. Pull it snuggle, grab it with your thumb, and now keep working. 1 and 2. And now we're going to carry that white. Awesome. I hope that you're having fun with it. I know that when we are starting it, it can be a little bit stressful sometimes, but I hope that as we go by, you can get the traction of it and your hands start to feel natural through it. Slip stitch, chain 2, and now bring it to carry your white. One, 2 half double crochet, 3 half double crochet. That's so exciting. I think when I was doing this, I might have pulled it snuggle too much in sometimes, so just be mindful with when you pull those. I'm really working on that. Carry the white. And 3. Now continue with your pattern. Slip stitch, chain 2, carry your yarn, and do 3 half double crochet. Again, feel free to mute me if this is too much for you. I just want to make sure that for those who need it, I'm there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have one more. So orange, slip stitch right there, chain 1 and 2. I like sometimes to say that it's like a workout. Chain 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Okay, let's just check our work. Everything is looking great. This is going to the back. And now we come from the front, right? Because we are in the back of our work. So go in and bring it and slip stitch. Pull it snuggle, and now we chain 2. Remember to pull this down if that helps you, but it's not a game changer, though it was for me because I'm all about being comfortable, hence why cozy to crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we do our 10th, so our last one is right there. Slip stitch, chain 1 and 2, and then uno, now in Spanish, dos y tres. And now, since that was our last one, we're going to grab this stitch marker and put it right here. It will help you to remember that you don't have to be increasing anymore. Row 11 now, we have to decrease now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. So we're going to decrease. Let me show you how to decrease in corner to corner. Turn your work, grab your yarn, and now you're gonna look for these 3 spaces. 1, 1, 2, and 3. You can see here in the chain as well, or the spaces, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to slip stitch right there. Grab your yarn, look for that space, and then we go in. 1, 2, slip stitch 2. Oh, I can do it. And slip stitch 3. It can be a little bit tricky, but you definitely get used to finding them. Slip stitch. Now you come to this space, and we're going to chain 2. 1 and 2. Since we're not increasing, you don't have to chain 5. And now we're just going to do our usual work. 3 half double crochet. If you want to practice more of your decreasing, just go back in this video and you can see it slower, see it several times, or go check this other video where I explain how to decrease. There we go. We just continue as usual. And then, oh, let me fix this. And then our third half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. That was the last one that we had to do on that color, and we know that we are in the front of the work because of the stitch marker. So bring the old color back and then the new color to the front through that corner. Slip stitch like this, and then bring right there. There we have it. So remember to pull that snuggle once you have the moment, and you can grab it there. Now you're ready to continue and carry your white. Continue as usual now with your half double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And there is no shame on counting. I love counting because it helps me to stay on track and know that I'm not getting many mistakes. So you can finish it up and I'll meet you over there to make the change. So let me finish with you right here. I'm about to finish row 11, so old color to the back of the work, new color to the front, through that corner. I like to use that corner to help me. And then slip stitch backwards, and that's because we are in the front of the work. I got it right here. Yes. Okay, now just chain 2, pull it snuggle, and keep working. And you'll see what happened when we decrease for the next row. I should say that this is a graph that is 10 by 10, so it's going to be a square, but sometimes there will be some rectangles, some other shapes that you just have to follow the written pattern or the graph to make sure that you get the shape that they are telling you to do, or that you want to do once you start creating your own. Okay, now that we've finished there, let's count. There are 10, so we're going to slip stitch, right? Now they are together. It is going to take a little bit more of shape once we finish, I promise. So now we're going to decrease. So we turn our work. So let's find those chains. 1, 2, and 3, and now slip stitch right there. 1, 2, slip stitches, and the third one's right there. Now we have the space, and we're going to, let me show you there. Starting row 12, you're going to chain 2, as I'm just showing you. And just to make sure that we're practicing together our color changes, I'm going to do this one with you. So 3 of double crochet, we keep going because we have one more white, or background color I should say. If you do this tutorial, just tag me on social media because I will love to see your work. So now we're going to change to orange, go back to your old yarn. We know because we have all of this, so this is the back of our work, right? And now put it on the corner, and you're going to slip stitch as usual, bringing that yarn. Awesome. Pull it snuggle, chain 2, and now you're going to carry that white. And we're remembering to carry the white. That's awesome. Then another one, and then another one. And I can use this time to also let you know that I have a tutorial on that star that I showed you in the beginning. And even though it is a bigger commitment, time commitment, it is also explained step by step. So feel free to jump there once you have this one done, or start there. They are both different adventures, but I love it. It's all corner to corner, and it will just open your world to so many opportunities with corner to corner. I really cannot wait to record more of these works for us to do together. Let me know in the comments if you want it to be less commented. I'm thinking of doing ones without voice, so that would be also exciting to see what you think about those. I just changed colors while I was talking about this. I hope that I'm not too distracting. And then 3. Let's check our work. because we're going from one color to the other, as I explained earlier, as I show you, in fact, this is the same video, you're going to slip stitch backwards. Remember that? Just to hide that orange from the front. So now you're going to do chain 2 and do just your usual half double crochet. Remember, because we're going from one color on top of the other, is that you have to do this special movement. So look at that. Since it's a little bit too loose, I just want to fix that so the work is a little bit more compact. So let me start again. As you can see, mistakes are easy to fix once you pick them a little bit closer to where you make them in this work. If not, mistakes are okay. We will learn for the next project. So slip stitch backwards and a little bit tighter, 1 and 2. Because of all of those movements, it's easy to not have the right tension. 1 and 2, and then the other one, 3. And let's continue and practice our confidence that it is okay. I'm practicing that too, not to check the work on every step. Now let's check and look at that. Yes, it works. So we are in the last one of this row. So we're slip stitch and we're going to decrease. What do we have to do now? Turn our work. We can also turn our work like that. So find those 3 chains and slip stitch on that space. Slip stitch, and slip stitch. I'm just saying that 3 times to practice my pronunciation at this point, but also I hope it's helpful. Go through and chain 2 and just keep following the pattern. This is row 13, I think. Yes. And 3. And just keep working there. Look how clean it looks. Look at how the graph is starting to look like an actual heart now. Now you can continue to work this pattern with the graph that is on my website cozy2crochet.com that you can find on the description box, or you can also find it on my Etsy shop that is also in the description box. The Etsy one will be an ad-free and printable version. For the rest of this video, I will make sure to come back to help you in those moments that might be too challenging to change color or just to try to remind you how to change it. So I just finished the last part of my orange on row 15. And I just wanted to show you again for changing the color in the front of our work. So bring that old color back, the new color to the front because we're in the front of the work. Now slip stitch backwards, bring that color into slip stitch. Awesome. Pull it snuggle and then just chain 2. And I really love when we get to finish a color using that color. I just feel very powerful. So now we do our 3 half double crochet. The orange wants to make an appearance now, but no, we are done with you. Here's our heart. Done. And now what we can do is just take a little bit and snip it off. I love doing that. The sound of snipping off is just amazing. It's the sound of victory, really. Now I will just decrease. Slip stitch, right? Because I didn't do it before. Turn your work. And you can turn your work in both sides as long as you're turning. So At least for this, I feel that it's fine for both sides. Then we just continue with chain 2, and now just keep working there. You can carry this over. In fact, let me show you that right now so we can see. That way you can start to hide that now and you don't have to weave it in later. Let's work for later, so yay! Okay, finish this square, the white one, so 3 half double crochet, and then we're going to carry it over. So there we are. We're going to slip stitch, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to carry it. This is again not mandatory, it's just one way of doing it, so I want to show you that way. 1 half double crochet, and look at that. This is one of the moments that we really have to pay attention. That I'm so glad that we catch it. So there, because we're going to continue that white color on the orange color, we have to, yes, you're right, slip stitch backwards. There we go, we grab it from there, pull it snuggle. Remember that we want a little bit of tension here. And then grab it right there, slip stitch, grab your yarn again, and then, oh, there we go, pull it snuggle. Let me do that again. Okay. And then chain 2, and then now you can carry. And you can see, you're going to see how clean that looks. In fact, you can go back to the video and see how it looked before. And now it will look very, very clean. Let me try that again just to make sure that I don't split my yarn. Half double crochet. And you know, if you want to leave me some constructive criticism in the comments, that's very helpful for me to grow and to make these videos a better experience for you. Now, since we're going to continue our white over our orange, we actually have to do this again. Let me repeat that. Since we're in the back of the project and we're going to continue one color over another one, we want to slip stitch backwards. Let me show you. Pull your yarn right here and then slip stitch backwards, bring the yarn, slip stitch, chain 2, and now you just continue as usual. Keep hiding that tail, the orange tail that we have right there. Believe me, you're gonna be grateful later that you did that. Now pull it snuggle. And now, since you're continuing to just a white one, just keep going. I said white. Remember that I'm using cream for the background. I'm sorry that I keep using that term, but in the graph is white, so that's why I wanted to refer to it like that. I feel it's easier. I want to make sure that I'm hiding that orange correctly, so I'm gonna check in 1 second, so you don't have to see that from the front. So to make sure that we cannot see that from the front, and it's correct, we cannot see it. Find those 3. I just turn, and I'm going to decrease. Slip stitch. Remember that I have many other tutorials that are also for beginner, so if this is going too fast for you, you can go to this video and just practice there before starting here. Now here's the last one. I save it so we can do it together and finish this heart together. So the last 3, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochet, and the third one. How awesome. Now we turn, and you can slip stitch your way to the corner. 1, 2, and 3. Right there, that it's going to be a little bit tricky, but I trust you and I trust myself that I can do it. Let me see. Yes, I can do it. Yes. And that's going to help us do our border. But first, let's just see how this looks. Yay! How awesome. Let's create a border so it looks cleaner. I'm gonna use the same color for that border, but feel free to use another one as well. Because I'm going to run out of this cream yarn, I wanted to show you how to do this. I think it's called the magic knot, something like that. Yes, you can always do it this way, but also there is this other way. Put the yarn on your table, and then I'm gonna try to show you right here. Bring this one down here, and you're gonna make a loop. You see that? Take it inside and then wrap it there. And wrap it tight. You see there? Let me show you. Tighten it up, and that was one. Now we do a second one on the other side. Let me try to show you. Cross it over. Cross it under. Let me do that again on the other side so you can see. Cross it over, cross it under. And then just bring it to do a knot. Hopefully you can see there. So now we're tightening it up. Pull it very tight so it doesn't come loose. And now look at what you have to do. Just pull. And they come together. Again, like magic, like everything in crochet. Pull it tight. And that's all. That's one way. The other way is just to simple attach them. Snip it off, and that's all. There you go. It's gonna be a little bit noticeable as you can see, but we can hide it as we are crocheting. Now let's do that border to our finished heart. So we're in a corner. To start off in this space, we're going to do a single crochet. Then you're going to do 2 chains. So now we go to the next space and do a single crochet. And there you have it. Chain 2, find that other space, look at it, and single crochet right there. Chain 2, you can see now the formula, right? Go to that space and single crochet. That is what you're going to be repeating on all over the border, except for the corner. Chain 2, go to that space and single crochet, and see how beautiful that looks. It just helps it to open some possibilities to make another border, a half double crochet border, or a granite square border. I'll be sure to make another video about it. Single crochet, single. So we're in a corner right now. So you're going to do chain 2, single crochet to that corner right here, and then do another 2 chains, and then you single crochet in the next space. You just created that corner. Now we just continue, and I'll see you at the end. If you need any help, remember that you can go back on this video, play it slower, or you can go also to the post about the border if you want the written explanation. And if you cannot find it, just let me know in the comments so I can try to help you. I want to do this corner with you so we can hide this slip knot right here. I did my single crochet, so I chain 2, go to that corner and single crochet, and then take that slip knot to the back, chain 2, making sure that you find that space and you are carrying that slip knot, you're going to single crochet. It's like when we were carrying that other color, just easier, right? And I think I can do one more. Yes. So single crochet, chain 2. Then you can just nip it off or hide it with your yarn needle. Okay, finish your border and I'll meet you at the end. And now to finish, just do these 2 chains and then slip stitch right where you started. Do another chain to fasten it up. My favorite part, snip it off. I might just record that sound to put it here. Now we start to kind of shaping it. It will take a little bit to shape it. Let me show you from afar how it looks with it further. We have these parts to weave in, but believe me, it is not so much and it's very easy. Sometimes when we don't hide those or when we have a lot of changes, color changes, we're going to have a lot of these to weave in at the end, and believe me, it's a pain. And now we just basically go through here, making sure that we don't show it in the front of the work. That's all that you have to do here. Let me leave that to the end because I want to show you a little bit of a trick that I can do there to fix that mistake that I did when I told you in the very beginning. Not a mistake, but you know, the different way. So I just go through here, making sure that we're not going to the front to keep that front just very clean. We can go back if you want to, depending on your technique to secure it, but I'm pretty paranoid, so I always prefer to just make sure. Now let's turn it, and yes, I cannot see it. That's awesome. Yes. One of the things that I for sure don't like is to split yarn, so I just go through the loops or through the stitches, but try not to split the yarn because then you can damage the work. As you can see, I'm doing it very randomly, so don't feel too attached to where you have to go or how. Just try to keep the tension right so you don't change too much the shape of the final product, and you don't need to go so tight. If it is too short, let me show you a little trick that I learned some days ago. You just put your yarn needle first, and then you put your thread. Let me show you. Let's split the yarn. Give me just 1 second. There we go. Now we have the yarn right there. Awesome. Now I finish. And I can snip off those ends as well. Now let me show you what we can do about this little thread if you did that mistake, or if you have any mistake that you can see in the front of your work. Let me first take these stitch markers because we don't need them anymore. We know this is the front of our work because it looks amazing, but I see these 3 points that I have made not so great. If you have any of those points showing, there is a way that we can fix it. So grab your yarn. If you don't have any attached, just grab a little thread. And let's try to find the place where that is. Yes, that is the one. Go through. And then you're going to try to just cover it with new yarn, basically. Go like an X, make a little bit of a shape that resembles the stitch that you have in the front. It takes a little bit of patience, but I think it's worth it. And I've hidden that little bit of cream showing there. As I said, it's not necessary. I just wanted to show you a way in case you see that happening to you. And if not, just accept the little dot showing there and you will improve for your next project. That's how I did it anyway. Remember my first heart? Look at that beauty. We have our fall heart. And as you can see, I'm working on my tension and keeping the square square. When I did the star, it did came out a very square C2C project. So I'm curious to understand what am I doing differently there. But here it is, our fall heart. Let me put this right here because it looks cute. I don't know, stitch markers are cute. I am so glad that we got to crochet this fall heart today together. And tag me in social media if you do it, because I can't wait to see the colors that you use and the hearts that you create. Remember that you can put them together to make a blanket. It can be just a square or a tiny pillow. You can go to my website to get some ideas of what to do with your fall heart. Remember to subscribe to this channel, to give a thumbs up if you liked this video, and to visit the website again or my Etsy shop or any other video. This really helps my brand Cozy to Crochet to come forward and allow me more time to create these free patterns and tutorials for you. So I'll see you in the next project that we get to crochet together in Cozy to Crochet. Ciao, people!